Hello everyone, it's Claire back again. Today I'm going to talk about vocabulary. So there are two aspects to vocabulary from the 11 plus perspective. One is developing vocabulary. I'm just going to share my screen. One is developing vocabulary, and the other is learning how to recognize vocabulary if you see a word in a text that you haven't seen before. So it's very important not to panic if you read a word in a text and you don't understand it, because there are skills we can develop to learn how to deal with that. So the first thing I'd like to say is by far the best way of developing vocabulary for English is to read really good quality fiction and non-fiction, and to read regularly. So preferably every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. So reading improves so many things that there are almost too many to number, but vocabulary is definitely one of them. It also develops our sense of grammar and our ability to recognize meaning and phrasing through phrasing, melody, rhythm, and so on. So what I've got up on screen today is a couple of exercises to do with recognizing the meanings of words. The first five are synonyms. So we're looking for words that mean the same or similar as the word in bold. And the second part is antonyms. So we're looking for the words that are the opposite in meaning. So our first word is ostentatious. So we're looking to see if it means modest, flashy, simple, or unassuming. So ostentatious is a word that means showy or flashy. So B would be the right answer. Okay, the second word is perplexed. Okay, so if we see a word with ed on the end, then we know that it's the past participle of a verb, and a past participle of a verb can be used as an adjective. So if we're not sure what the word means, we might want to look at the part that is the verb, perplex, and see if that helps. So does perplexed mean confused, certain, clear, or resolute? So if we're perplexed, we're confused by something. So A is the correct answer. Superfluous. Okay, so here we've got a word consisting of two parts, super and fluous. So I would look at that and I would divide it into the two parts. Super would, one of the meanings of super is extra or over. Okay, so it would be quite logical, even if we didn't know that superfluous meant excessive. It's likely that it's something to do with having something extra or too much. So that is in fact the correct answer, superfluous. Melancholy. So we're looking at melancholy. We can see that that's not originally an English word, it's from Greek. So is it joyful, elated, mournful, or excited? So the right answer here would be C, mournful. Taciturn, I don't know why that's split up from the rest. Taciturn, talkative, silent, boisterous, or noisy. Taciturn means silent. It's a word we use to describe people who don't talk very much. Okay, let's have a look at the antonyms. Candid. So we're looking for the opposite in meaning. Frank, honest, deceptive, transparent. Well, A, B, and D all mean something similar to candid. Candid means open, honest, and clear in one's communication. So the correct answer for the antonym, the opposite meaning, would be deceptive. Benevolent, number 7. So we're looking for the opposite: malevolent, kind, compassionate, generous. So looking at the structure of the word, these come from Latin. Bene is something to do with good, and volent is wishing or wanting, or yes, wishing. So wanting good is kind, or kind-hearted, generous, positive. So it's very logical that malevolent, wanting bad or harm, is going to be the opposite, the antonym there. So this is where it really pays to develop a bit of sensitivity to the structure and patterns in words. And if you're not sure, just make an educated guess. Okay, just a couple more. Audacious. Bold, daring, cowardly, brave. So we're looking for a word that is the opposite of audacious. Bold, daring, and brave all mean the same thing. So the word we're looking for is cowardly. Erudite. Scholarly, ignorant, learned, knowledgeable. So first of all, if we're using the past participle of learn as an adjective, then we pronounce it learned, a learned person. Okay, so erudite actually means learned, knowledgeable, or scholarly, like a scholar. So our antonym is going to be ignorant. I'm just going to put this down to the next page because, oh, that's not done very well, has it? Sorry about that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're looking for an antonym for indolent. Now, could it be lazy, active, idle, or sluggish? Looking at this word, we can see that the ish means like a slug. So what is a slug like? It's slow. Are there any other words here that mean the same? Yes, lazy or idle. And indolent means lazy, idle, or sluggish. So our antonym is active. There we go. So that's just to show you how we can develop some vocabulary. I just think I'd like to emphasize again, before I finish this little video, I'd like to emphasize just how important it is to encourage our children to read. And we may think about a bit more in that sense later on. I may talk a bit more about how to read, how to encourage reading. So thank you for listening. Vocabulary shouldn't be underestimated in its importance, because not only do we need the vocabulary to be able to recognize words in the English comprehension in section A of most 11+ exams, but we also need to be able to actively use vocabulary when we're writing section B, our creative writing. So it really is going to benefit us if we can use a wide range of vocabulary and not just simple ones. We'll also be talking a bit more later in the creative writing videos about how to go about putting together a really well-constructed piece of creative writing, and how to make the language come alive and really help our reader to picture the story. Okay, thank you for your attention, and I'll be back again soon.